pressure module, we have a subroutine called, it's automatically created, called outlet pressure test. And then we also have one called outlet pressure test shutdown. So what it does is when you click run, it will automatically run this subroutine. And right now there's no code in it, and then it's going to run a shutdown subroutine when everything is done. So what we want to do is we want to add an instruction to the subroutine. It's called install part, would be the first instruction. So we're going to copy that name from the tree view, and we'll highlight that because we want to get rid of it, and paste that name, that's the instruction install part, click a period, and then just click selected equals true. We're going to save our macro and build it, and then we're going to rerun our test.
Enter serial number.
All right, the serial number has been retained from what we added before.
Install part.
And now it asks you to install the part.
Please install the part with hint the test stand. Click yes to continue. All tasks passed. Ready.
Within the instruction, we can add an HTML file that is shown when the test is run. So I just added an HTML file called install part. And then pasted an image that's shown within the HTML install part page. So if we rerun the test,
enter serial number. Install part.
So now we have a nice HTML page that's shown when the install part instruction is shown.
Install part.
And if you close the HTML page, it goes back to the instrument display form.
Install part.
And when you click on window, the info, it shows the install part again. So if you click yes,
all tasks passed,
then it finishes the test. This here is called the data sheet. This is also based in HTML. And it's shown at the end of a test or accessible from the toolbar.
Data sheet.
Right now it's empty, so we need to populate that.
Ready.
So if you recall, we're going to need to create a test array. Within the array, there's parameters that we need to add. Inlet pressure, outlet flow, and outlet pressure. And then we need to record what the actual outlet pressure is. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a test array consisting of a primary array, a secondary array, and then on the top we have parameters and results. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to switch the task so that it uses an array. So we're going to say use array equals true. And then right here we have p arrays, which corresponds with p arrays right here. And then we're going to add p array 1. And then within p array 1, we have a child s arrays. So s arrays, and we're going to add s array 1. And then within s array 1, we have results and we have parameters. So as you can see, we have results and parameters. So at the very top, we're going to add our parameters that we had just discussed, and we're going to add our results, our single result. So in terms of parameters, what do we want to add? We want to add inlet pressure, outlet flow, and outlet pressure. Inlet pressure, outlet flow, and outlet pressure. Now, if you look at the values for the inlet pressure, we're going to add 50, and then the units are psig. So inlet pressure, the value is going to be 50, and the units are psig. For outlet flow, we're going to have 5 LPM. And the units LPM, liters per minute. And then we have an outlet pressure that we're going to add, and that would be a range. That would be 1.2 to 1.8, and then inches of water. So instead of using value, we're going to use a range. We're going to use 1.2 to 1.8, and then the units here are going to be inches of water. So we've added our parameters. Now we also want to record the outlet pressure located right here for these test conditions. For an inlet pressure of 50 psig and an outlet flow of 5. So we need to know what this is and make sure that it's between 1.2 and 1.8 inches of water. So we simply right click and add an outlet pressure result object. And all we have to do for that is assign units, which should also be inches of water. So we've added our first object group to our test array or task array. And if we go to our data sheet, you can see that outlet pressure, that would correspond with the outlet pressure result. We want to put a label here within the requirement, and that would be done by clicking on the sArray one object and just putting within the note property. We'll put outlet pressure between 1.2 and 1.8 inches of water, while at 50 psig and 5 liters per minute. And then click on the datasheet again.
Datasheet. 1. Outlet pressure between 1.2 and 1.8 inches water, while at 50 pounds per square inch and 5 LPM.
Now there's a typo. It should be pressure.
Datasheet.
So we've created our first test grouping within our test array. And that would correspond with this right here. So now we have to create a second one, which is going to be right here. Maybe I should use a different color. So our second grouping is going to be right here.